Hey, what is up guys? So we got something super cool to share with you guys today, and it is the Suppression Pluto in action. The card that a lot of you guys thought was kind of broken, and some people were like, nah, this card not even good. But let's go and check it out in action, because I think the card's got a little bit of potential. But anyways, it's a new monster card. Let's go ahead and go over the effect while we're kind of checking it out anyway. So it's once per turn you declare one card name. Look at your opponent's hand, and if they have the declared card, apply one of these effects. You get to take control of one monster your opponent controls or destroy a spell and trap card your opponent controls. Then you can set the destroyed spell and trap on your field. So what this guy is using, he used that card. Let's go ahead and pause it real quick, because this is actually really important for the combo to be actually pulled off. It's present exchange. Each player banishes one card from their deck face down during the end phase of this turn. Each player adds the card banished to their opponent to their hand. So basically, you want to select something that they cannot use. So like a piece of Exodia could be an example, but the thing is they could set the Exodia. The important thing here is he's given his opponent the Spirit Message L. It'd be really funny actually if you try to spell something out in like their hand, because they can't actually use anything other than the first letter of the Death or Final or Destiny board. So at that point, you can always call the card right, because this card can only be placed on the field by the effect of Destiny board. I'm guessing you can't even set the card. The only thing that I could see like going like bad with this deck, or this like idea mindset, is if your opponent activates a card that lets you discard a card, because at this point it really doesn't matter what your opponent has. You're going to be able to seal everything, again, if you're running like the same build. But a really cool replay from Mr. Katai over here. So he's going to keep on calling that Spirit Message, and then he can just keep on taking control of a monster. I think that that's obviously a pretty good effect. Most things that involve stealing a monster are usually banned, or they're really hard to get out for the most part. But you can see that he's able to use that Gate of the Magical Force, and they just ended up swapping over there. But for the most part, it's a pretty interesting effect. You can see he's activating Tribute Burial over here. So once during this turn, if you would tribute someone a monster that requires 2 tributes, you can banish a monster from each graveyard and tribute summon that monster without tributing. And also you can't special summon for the rest of the turn. But that's still a pretty dang good effect, especially if you're getting Caius's effect. Caius obviously has a really good effect. But just some more of the more unique things that have been going on in this game, because I like this. I like that idea of, I'm going to make it so my opponent has a card that's completely useless, and then every turn I get to, either destroy something, a spell and trap, then I get the card, or I get to take a monster. Both are really viable effects in the game, but at this point, I'm pretty sure you guys can see that this guy is not going to do too much with that vanilla, as well as the stuff in his hand. I mean, maybe he can go ahead and make a... Oh, actually, he's going off with the Black Metal Dragon. He's going to make Dolahan. He's going to half his own monster's attack, and he's going to attack into it for 800. But okay, so I think the guy's actually come back a little bit. Anyways, Fiendish Hound Otros over here. So if this card is set from the field of the grave, you can add a level 8 Fiend monster from your deck to your hand. You can only use this effect once. Obviously, the Suppression Pluto is going to be a target, so that's why he's playing the card. So basically, the whole idea is just to really abuse this card. And I guess if you play against a deck that you know what they're going to have, unfortunately it's not once per turn during either player's turn, but still being able to take control of a monster then tributing it, obviously a really good effect, and he takes another 1,000, and then he's going to go ahead and make the number 22 Zombie Stein. So that was a really good replay. That was really awesome. But let's go and check out some other ones so you guys can get a better idea of the deck, and as well as we can just kind of talk a little bit about it. So this is versus Tremids. There's a lot of archetypes in the game, which, they obviously have a lot of search ability, like they're searching a lot of different things in the game. So I feel like at that point, you might be able to utilize it better than other decks. For example, like, any deck that runs Rhoda, sometimes they'll just save cards in their hand, or like, they search a card and they have to pass, and maybe like if they have a field spell, for example, you can just call the other field spell, because certain decks, they'll run multiple copies of a field spell. But anyways, the Tremid guy, he's got 2 cards out, then he's going to go ahead and summon the Doom Dog, and again, he's just going to search out Pluto, because this is a Pluto turbo deck, so he's going to activate Sinister Yashishiro over here. Each turn, one level 5 or higher Fiend type monster can be normal summon without tributing if exactly one normal summon / set. Level 5 or higher Fiend type monster, no other cards will be destroyed. You can send this card to the graveyard instead. So you can also protect the card and get it out pretty easy, so that's really good. He's going to go ahead and activate this card, which I don't think we've ever talked about in a long time. It's tribute 1 dark monster. It's called the Dark Spirit Art Gree. So you tribute a dark monster, draw 2 cards. Your opponent can negate this effect by revealing 1 spell card in their hand. it's gonna go ahead and get negated. So you know, it's randomly maybe good against certain things. I'm wondering if pendulums count in the hand as spells or monsters, or do they count as both? Because there's been different rulings multiple times in the game, but nonetheless, we got the Pluto over here, and again, just being able to just get out those free cards. It's just nice just to be like, oh, I'm just going to steal your monster. He's going to go ahead and summon another one, and he's going to go ahead and just keep on calling L, and then at this point, he's got the number 30 Hope Harbinger Dragon Titanic Galaxy. So at this point, most decks will fold at this game state where you don't really have too much of a chance, especially since this guy has no extra deck at this point. But he's going to go ahead and just be able to negate that terraforming, and then he's going to go ahead and activate T-Roar, and he's just stealing his monsters just over and over, and that obviously, over the course of time, it becomes pretty good in the game, and just making your opponent quit. And what's cool with this is you're beating your opponent with essentially their own cards, because you're just basically stealing them. And even if you're stealing spell and traps, you're beating them with their own cards. Now we see some counter fairies. I know some people really liked that deck. I would like to see a little bit more support for this archetype, because it was like a fan favorite deck. I think a lot of people really liked the counter fairies, because I know I've seen this deck a lot of times, and it usually folds relatively quick. I mean, he's got Swords Revealing Light. Like, who plays Swords Revealing Light in 2016 hoping to actually, win a game? I mean, this deck right here is not the most meta, but again, it's just to show you guys more interesting stuff. And he goes ahead and makes the S39, he can't respond to that. And he also has a sword, so it's not like he's going to be attacking it anyways. But anyways, Present Exchange is activated. Going to go ahead and have that ability to give his opponent the L. I like how he gives the opponent the L. It's kind of like disrespect there, because it's like, yo, I'm going to give you the L, the loss in the game. But nonetheless, he's going to go ahead and set Heroes Rule number 2, or just 2. But it's just counter fairies. I would say there's nothing really cool with counter fairies that got added in recently, but it's still good that we had Ariadne. Then he's going to go ahead and just be able to keep on calling L, keep on taking control of monsters. Now he has Utopia. Swords is now gone, and at this point, this is the problem counter fairies have, is you just don't have that many good monsters, because a lot of stuff relies on you to negate stuff. But if stuff already exists on the board, then good luck, man. Game over. But for the most part, yeah. So the Suppression Pluto. Just a real excellent card over here. And then we got Curry Bandit summoned over here. End phase activate effect. Going to go ahead and start milling some stuff to give. He was also playing Call of the Haunted, so you get extra utility out of it, and obviously being able to add the card. And then just being able to use Tribute Burial. Just, again, the whole concept of this deck is just to bust out Pluto as often as possible. He tries to activate the Marshal Monarchs, which, I mean, if this card goes off plus Pluto's there, it's kind of difficult. He's got decent attack, too. It's 2600, so not everything is going to be able to run over the card. But he's going to go ahead and summon Battle for Artemis, and then at this point he's like, yo, I can't really do anything. He just goes ahead and calls it a day. He also had Solemn Warning, so even if he could have negated that or whatever. But nonetheless, really cool deck. Thank you, Katai, for sending in this replay. Let me know, guys, what you think of the Suppression Pluto. I think it's pretty good. It's a little bit cheesy. I mean, like I said, it's more of a fun deck than meta, but nonetheless, it's really cool to see some more interesting stuff in this game. But anyways, thanks for watching, guys, and make sure you give that like button a titty slap, and I'm signing out.